Hey everyone, I'm Big John, and here on the Big John Network, and as I promised in my previous video, this video will be round one of our fan favorite movie tournament. So, here's what you need to do. After you watch this video, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to name all the matchups, and after the video, I want you to vote on who wins each matchup, and the winner of each matchup will be in the quarterfinals in our next video. And I chose each of these films through both the Disney Wiki, Disney Plus, and my personal intellect. So, let's get things started with round one. So, our first one of round one, we got Finding Nemo versus Peter Pan. Now, Finding Nemo, of course, a film that I believe teaches parents not to be too overprotective, Morlun, and let their children go out, be adventurous, see the world around them. Whereas with Peter Pan, is that what Peter Pan tells us, also a philosophy of Walt Disney himself, is while there isn't much grown-up in every child, there's a lot of child in every grown-up. And as we grow up, there's still a little child in us. So, that's our matchup, Finding Nemo and Peter Pan. Our next, the second matchup here, Moana and Toy Story. Now, this is the battle of the heavyweight stars. Moana has The Rock. I mean, you almost can't compete with The Rock. Well, almost. Whereas with Toy Story, you got Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, which combined almost beats The Rock. But again, depends on what you guys think. The Rock or Hanks and Allen. All right, next up we have Winnie the Pooh versus Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, Winnie the Pooh, of course, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is one of my personal favorites, and I watch it all the time. I ride the rides at Magic Kingdom and once at Disneyland. Whereas with Pirates of the Caribbean, I only chose this because of Johnny Depp. And even though he had a lot of backlash these days, which we're not going to talk about, I think he deserved to be part of this. So, that's my match. That's it. Pooh versus Johnny Depp. All right, next we have, this is a good one. You got The Lion King versus Mary Poppins. Now with The Lion King, you got all the great songs. You got James Earl Jones, Robert Guillaume, Whoopi Goldberg, and you got Mary Poppins, which of course, again, amazing music, as well as Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, and you got all that great stuff. And I can't wait to see what you guys think of that matchup. All right, next up we have Coco versus 101 Dalmatians. Now Coco, of course, was Pixar's first musical film, and 101 Dalmatians is, of course, a Walt Disney classic. So I can't wait to see what you guys comment about that. Next, The Hunchback of Notre Dame versus WALL-E. Now, this one, Hunchback teaches us never to discard the outcast, whereas with WALL-E teaches us to love the planet, love the earth, no pollution, stuff like that, and never let technology run your life. All right, next up, a true heavyweight battle, Star Wars versus Frozen. Or you got Star Wars, which appears mostly to the guys, and to, I wouldn't say appeal mostly to the guys, but Star Wars, one of the greatest film franchises of all time. And then you got Frozen, which has become a huge hit thanks to a little song that we're not going to talk about. But I'll be surprised if you guys choose a certain one over the other. And finally, that's Sleeping Beauty and Cars. Now, Sleeping Beauty, again, a true Walt Disney original. You got, which of course gave birth to a Sleeping Beauty's Castle in Disneyland, which, tidbit, the movie was released 5 years after the original, so, yeah. And because it introduces us to Maleficent, which of course is Disney's greatest villain. And then you got Cars, one of Pixar's greatest films of all time. Yeah, with, of course, Larry the Cable Guy. Hi, Paul Newman. May he rest in peace. And it's just a great movie. Now, they're all great movies. Those are your round one uncontenders. Make sure you comment on which film in each of those brackets should move on to our next video. And as always, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the comments, and that will be in a future video. And, of course, if you want to see even more great Disney content, I suggest check out my good friends Beth over at Beth's Disney Adventures. She has a big live stream schedule coming up next month when the parks reopen, and I cannot wait to see her in action there once more, as well as my good friend CJ over at Disney Planning Guide. And for the latest attraction news, be sure to check out our good friends over at Attractions Magazine, and I will see you next time.